You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the JSRA. This evening we have a very special race for you. It is the 3 hours of Le Mans here at the lovely Circuit De La Sarthe in France. It is a collaboration today, actually. It's with the JSRA and GT Panama, giving you this fantastic event this evening. The probably max amount of time you can ever safely put someone in a car solo in sim racing. 3 hours solo driving around one of the most enduring tracks on really any race calendar. This is going to be so incredibly exciting. The qualifying is already underway for the LM GT3 class. We have two classes of cars here, the GT3s as just mentioned, and also we have the LMHs, the hypercars. So we have a little mix of both. There's going to be a lot of lap traffic. I'm incredibly excited. 22 minutes you might see on the clock right there. That's for the full sessions, both sessions of qualifying. When 15 minutes to go is displayed up there on the screen, that's when the LM GT3 class is over for their qualifying. They'll come back to the pit and the LMHs will take over. So we're getting started. Alongside me, we should have our partner in crime, Chad Dillon, to help me along with the qualifying here this evening. Chad, good evening, and this is a very special day.
Well, sorry, I should have updated you. I will be your commentary host this
Oh, it's
evening.
Steven
Yes.
instead.
Unfortunately,
My
well,
God.
Chad originally should have been on track, but unfortunately, will not be partaking this evening. But I have taken the mantle to help you out in the commentary booth this evening for the first ever 3 hour endurance, solo endurance, that is, for the JSRA as well as the GT Panama. Your friends out there over in Panama, we have Argentinians, we have Jamaicans, Trinidad and Tobago. As we see right now, we have the GT3 classification on and ready for the fight. Mark, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I was a little tired this morning after work, but I went and got some sleep, and I've woken up probably about an hour ago now, so I have fueled up with some food. I'm ready to go. I'm incredibly excited. I hope you are as well, Stephen, and my apologies for accidentally bringing in Chad. I thought he was here, but it's fantastic to have you as well. You were just as good, I'm sure.
Well, I won't take any credit away. I am just here for the fun of it. I am absolutely excited for this to be frank. If we've been anticipating this event for quite some time now, as we have the GT3s rolling out there. We have Santino Franco roaring though with a extremely quick sector 1 and it looking very promising for sector 2. I think we have a few names that we should be looking out for as well. Mr. Rohe Robinson now sitting in P4, Mr. Sandbagger himself. We are riding along board with Mr. Franco now, Santino Franco, my apologies, who is looking to take pole position. But yes, I'm very excited and very interested to see who will be taking the mantle for the GT3 class.
Absolutely, and we have a lot of folks who really recognise throughout the JSRA seasons. Well, I mean, I do chase for pace now and again, but you'll see a lot of people probably from the CTCC as well, and other series, and then of course some new folks that we don't normally have here that I'm gonna have to get to know, but it's actually really important to note, like you see these lap times coming on. It might take a few minutes because if you have a track cut somewhere, that's not going to count to your lap time. So you might say, oh, there's only, what is that, 7 or so lap times up there. Obviously, that's not going to be absolutely everyone. I reckon we're going to see a lot of, or a lot more drivers posting very quick lap times. So you might see Ryan up there, and you might be, oh, I remember Ryan. You might see Rohei Robinson, and of course he's quite a first driver as well. But yeah, don't think that, you know, Ryan is on for a pole position right now or anything like that. We still have lots of pace. And there's Robinson actually showing us right there. And then Franco De Vico showing us certainly much more pace out of these GT3. So we have a long way to go. Oh, I mean, we have 2 minutes to go.
Right.
But, I suppose they can end the lap they're on, if I'm not mistaken, Stephen, if it's past 15 minutes remaining in the whole session.
Well, this should be most, if not all, of their basically their last lap, as we see a few more drivers coming around the final sector there. But as you said it, as soon as Rohei came and put his time on the board, Mr. Santino Franco literally went up about 4/10 quicker than the Jamaican. We are riding along board now with Mr. Massive, Mr. Kurt Moss there in the Mercedes AMG GT3. So we will, well, I'm very excited to see the times plummeting down now. But Mark, I am noticing there's about 3 different races here to come in the GT3 class.
Yeah, it looks like we have the fastest drivers at the low 57s. Maybe we might get into the 56s here. I really think we can. That pace is certainly there. And then we have some people a little slower, kind of going into the 4 minutes. We might have different battles play out. Really depends really on the start, I think. If the start goes well for everybody, we might have some really, really great action. But if it goes poorly, if we see a crash somewhere, we might have... and someone going on, that's Ramiro Dominguez from GT Panama. Or was that Kurt Moss? I think that was Kurt Moss, excuse me.
That was Kurt Moss.
Yep, excuse me on that. I have to remember with this new tower, it's the yellow that shows the active driver there. Yeah, and so what was I saying? Let me get my train of thought back. So yeah, if the start goes poorly, we might see some battles maybe towards the back, and they're fighting for, well, as much as they can, as much pride as they can. And it's a long race, so they know they can make up positions as they go along, because there'll be solo incidents all over the place, I'm sure. So yeah, GT3, about half the grid right here, now 12 drivers set a lap time, and they have a few more seconds to go of the session, plus whatever the remainder of their lap is. How exciting. LMHs should be coming out right now, I believe. Am I not mistaken?
Yes, sir. And the GT3 class has now ended, so the LMHs have full authority to come out. So we'll be finishing up our final laps. But as we've seen, Kurt Moss was the one who did invalidate his lap. So his qualifying is done. He was predicted to be top 3 here this evening. He did have the fastest practice time overall, so clearly not finding his or putting the foot correctly. And there is Mr. Daniel there, who was the only person who could have possibly really taken the fight to Mr. Santino there, but
we have some traffic already.
Well, the
actually not traffic.
No.
Never mind, that was another Porsche. I thought for a second that was another GT3 there, and no, that wouldn't make any sense, would they? Because they'd all be behind. No, my apologies, but it looked like they were going kind of slow. But I think they've now picked up the pace on the Mulsanne, and look at that, Santino Franco De Vico, 3:56.1, and that, Stephen, is the pace you want to see out of those GT3 GT3s, that looks like a very good pole position.
That is a full second quicker, at 1.3 seconds quicker than the nearest competitor.
Oh,
Is Mr. Santino Franco there, Mark? So we're definitely seeing the pace that the drivers will be looking for this evening. But the GT3s are now in. We are riding along board with the LMH class vehicles here. I will let it be known as well, Mark, that we did have our fan favorite Estefano Barrero, who was supposedly was supposed to be racing here with us this evening, but unfortunately has fallen ill, so he will not be partaking in this evening's race.
that's really unfortunate to hear. I was hoping he would dominate the field like he normally does, but that's a real shame, and we hope he gets better. He is, well, if you folks watch Taste for Pace, you know he is by far and away sometimes the fastest driver on pace. He might not necessarily always win the race, and actually that hasn't happened several times, at least that I've been commentating. But he is always one to charge through the field. And I kid you not, last time out at, what was it, Silverstone, right? No, it wasn't Silverstone, it was Brands Hatch. It was a race where I think he had an incident, if I remember. You might have to jog my memory, but he had an incident, and he had about, what was it, a little over half the race remaining,
Right.
and he charged all the way back through the field and came up to score a podium position at the end of the race. It was spectacular to see. So what a shame he's not here, but we hope to see him again very soon.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And his biggest competitor, he would have had about 3 drivers to fight him for that top step. We are riding along board with one of them, with one of them, my apologies, Mr. Dominic Charles of Trinidad and Tobago, who is on his out lap and about to start his flying lap, or first flying lap there. But as you can see, has set a purple sector 2 and purple sector 3, so we will ride along board with him here. His next 2 highest competitors will be Jaden Harrison or would have been Jaden Harrison and Tim Stahl, but I'll leave you to it, Mr. Mark, to ride along and follow with Mr. Dominic.
Absolutely. I mean, Dominic Charles here with a very lovely livery. It looks very similar, in fact, to the 31 from IMSA there. You know, or actually, I think in the WEC, it's the 311 car. It's the red and black, very lovely livery. I think in IMSA it has the Whelan sponsor. So they're coming down the Mulsanne straight now. This is incredibly long. It's public road normally outside of the track. You come up to the first chicane here, and these chicanes weren't always here, Stephen, as you would very well know. They put them in because the cars simply were going too fast. At one point, it would have been far too dangerous into Mulsanne Corner to not have these in. So you go through one, and that goes right back to left. And then you head back out onto the straight once again. If you miss the corner, you can go straight on, go in between the tire barrier there, tire wall. Then you get the second one right here, and that is obviously the opposite, but same sort of corner. A little longer, in fact, though, than the first one. It's a little nuanced. You have to get the braking differently for both, in fact, and you have to make sure you get that kind of exit of the corner just right, and then the little flicky right-hander into what they would call Mulsanne Corner there. Don't lock up your brakes, although we are seeing a bit of that. You go straight on and possibly into that sand right there. You definitely do not want anything like that. Then it's down the next long straight, although not as long as the Mulsanne. Couple of corners. You come all the way down into what is very well known as Indianapolis. That is right here, big braking zone and a big lockup on the front left by Dominic Charles there. Take it up to Arnage and then down another straight, but we come up to the now technical portion of it, the sector 3 portion, which will be the Porsche curves and, of course, the Ford chicanes at the very end of the lap. So he's coming up towards it right now. The big right-hander. Don't understeer off, although he did have a bit of it. He'll head off into the gravel there as well. Through the Porsche curves he comes now. You have to hug it tight. And he's doing a pretty good job of that. Beautiful exit, in fact. Comes down towards the end of the lap now. Past the pit lane, straight on the right-hand side. And big braking into the Ford chicane. The first one, gets it down nicely. And second gear, second chicane. And that is a lap of the Le Mans circuit right there, or at least half of it. And that is a fantastic lap for Dominic Charles. Up to pole, provisional pole, 3:21.278, Stephen.
7/10 clearer than the Jamaican of Mr. Harrison. But quickly, what a lap that was, first of all, by Mr. Charles. Omar Escorcia of the Noba Racing Store team is the next closest to the two ahead, but clear by almost 2 seconds there. Is Mr.
Wow.
Charles and Jaden Harrison. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think I'm not really surprised. Dominic Charles and Jaden Harrison, just incredible, fantastic drivers, and so I don't need to say any more comments behind that. But Noba Racing Store, they know how fast they are. We know how quick they are and chase for pace as a team. So we don't need to bash them at all. So I'm sure they have time to pick up the pace, but they really need to. They have just under 7 minutes to go.
Well, the next competitor who we will or should be looking out for is Mr. Style here, the German, who is very quick over 1 lap pace. Clearly, as you can see on our new HUD, well, the new JSRA HUD that we'll be using for the foreseeable future, done by CMRT. We are, well, Mr. Style there is already very quick, setting not sector 1 purple, but at least the first portion of the sector 1 in the purple classification. So we'll definitely be looking out for what he will have.
Show up soon, wouldn't it? I think he's most of the way through sector 1 now, if I'm not mistaken, so it should show up soon. But that is basically the German Max Verstappen, Tim Stahl. He's incredibly quick. Well, I'm just going off what he says on the Discord, you know, the
Absolutely.
Discord name, because that's what he is, and I'm sure he's very happy to be called that. He was not very happy with me. I think when I said either him or one of his colleagues, I remember, said was the best of the rest a few weeks ago at the Chase for Pace. So he wasn't very happy with me with that. So we'll absolutely correct it the other way now. And so Tim Stahl, yeah, he's very quick and consistent. Well, actually not always consistent, but he's consistent enough that he's like always getting good results at the end of the race. So he won Chase the Pace a race recently, so that was very, very good. And I'm sure it's not the only race he's won, although I again haven't been around in the JSRA long enough to see him too much. But yeah, he's driving. I think that's the Hertz Team Jota car there. So that's a lovely livery, I have to say. It's fantastic. Still going around the track. I don't see. He is a green sector 1. I now can see that. Unfortunately, we can't see. I don't think we can see the sector time itself there. No, it just says it's green. Shows the mini sectors actually in the top right of your broadcast screen. So you'll see a few purple mini sectors on there. That's the little tiny colors, rectangles. But the big one above that, the big rectangle, that's the full sector there, which is obviously a third of the track each. So
Well,
Yeah, Sector 2 looks good on for purple, and it is, just as I say it. And he should be on for a fantastic lap here, Stephen.
well, let me just enlighten the fans who are taking or watching. His sector 1 was a 124.008, 3/10 off of Dominic Charles. However, his sector 2 was a 129.092 to Dominic Charles, 129.231, 119.231. My apologies. So we do have
Oh, he hit
access.
the curb there.
We do have access to the live timing. And was that an invalidated lap in the final sector? Yes, it seems so.
Was it really? Oh, wait.
Ouch. And
It's got a 321.782 on the top right.
right.
But I don't know. Did he go off when he went over the curb? Stephen, honestly, I don't know where he went off there. I didn't see it.
It seems that is the case. Unfortunate, because his lap was invalid.
I'm going to be honest, and I'm watching back. Actually, I think it's too far on now. I was going to watch back my replay of that on my stream preview, and no, it's gone too far now. But honestly, from what I can recall, he did a little bump over that sausage curb at the Ford chicane. I don't think that was too egregious, but maybe Assetto Corsa thought it was,
So
and invalidated. That's horrible to see.
this is a good opportunity to mention that the mods that we are using are from our friends over in Germany, the AC Friends community. Really good friends of ours. I did a little bit of commentary for them last week, but their mods are absolutely brilliant, and the track itself is very demanding with the track cuts. So we will definitely be seeing invalidated laps. You will see persons even backing out of their laps very often here this evening, as you can use so much of the track and absolutely no more. And if you do, as you saw there with Tim Stahl, your lap will be invalidated. So
Wow.
yes. But nonetheless,
That would have been, if I'm not mistaken, would that have been in the top 3?
that would have
lap
been P3 for this evening, yes, as
Yeah.
Jaden Harrison is at 321.546. And there goes
Oh.
Dominic Charles, full 10th clear, or 2/10 clear in sector 3, and on his personal best. So he is now clear off the field, a full second faster than the next.
Well, yeah, 8/10 Charles up on Harrison there. That's mighty impressive so far, and they honestly they might even have more pace than that. So if they're still greening and purpling, honestly, Stephen, this might be a fantastic finish. Oh, and a big slide by Jaden Harrison. Oh, and that's the end of it.
And that's
He's not
his
going to get out
qualifying
for another.
undone.
That was it.
But
Oh
guess
my
what?
goodness.
Mr. Stahl there has set a purple sector through 2, my apologies. His lap may very well be invalid as well, so this might be his qualifying session as well. Yes, you see him cutting the track there, so very upset with himself, as he will now be looking to bring that car.
Horrible.
Ouch.
I don't think he got a lap in at all. It doesn't say.
He did not. He did not.
No.
He did not. And that
He's
is
gonna be
his qualifying done.
Oh my god, he's going to be starting. Well, if it says it's starting 22, I think that's where he's starting, right, Stephen? That is. Wow, he's going to have to do another charge through the field.
Well, it will be a rolling start, so he will be starting right on the rear end of Mr. Singleton here, the Australian from AC Karting. So he will definitely, as you said, have his work
that's right.
cut out.
That's right. Okay, that was my bad there. That's right. That's showing the overall. Remember, we're just looking for the the hypercars here. So yeah, that's right. He wouldn't be 22nd. He would be all the way up there. So that's
Correct.
right. I have to jog my memory about that there, Stephen. I'm used to one-class racing over here at the JSRA.
I know. It's something new to us, even to me myself here, in the commentators booth, trying to figure out how to even get the streaming better. But nonetheless, I'm excited. Mark, what are your thoughts so far?
Oh my goodness, I'm incredibly shocked to see very first drivers not getting on the board or not getting quick enough. I mean, Rohei Robinson 10th showing there. But I think, oh, that might have been the
That
GT3
he is
second,
in
but that's very good
GT3.
at second.
Yes.
Excuse me, sorry, talking about the hypercar only, well, Kimani Eastman 7th, so there's that. And then there's a few drivers here I don't know ahead of him. But then Daniel Velez 3rd, actually that's about right for him. That's about right. Jaden Harrison very quick, Charles very quick. No, actually it's probably the GT3 more so that's more surprising. There's some folks towards the back there, Andres Lopez, Torres, Kurt Moss, could have had way more pace, but oh wow, this has been a fantastic qualifying, and we still have, I think, this one last driver to go. Am I not mistaken, or are they going back to the pit? I'm
This
not sure. This is
is
Mr.
no
How do you
that
say this? Estorcia?
correct, and that is off Noba Racing. I'll get the banner off of the screen right now, as he comes around the final corner to finish up his final lap. Does he improve? He does,
Yeah.
and that puts him in P3, the Noba Racing store driver.
Wow.
So
Look at that.
absolutely epic lap there, if I do say so myself, Mark.
Yeah, that is a great lap, and can they use that in the race is now the question. I think that's the fastest Noba Racing Store driver, so very well done to him. And I think my track map is showing two others, or one other. I think they weren't on a lap, and yeah, they're back in the pits now. So that is it for qualifying. And wow, look at this, Stephen. We have drivers ranging from 320.7 all the way up to a 328.6. Woo, that's a big
Yes.
difference.
Yes, sir. And this race looks like it's going to be very fun, if I do say so myself. I am actually in the midst of setting up for a new graphic that we have. I did share it with you as well, Mark.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So if the audience is seeing on the screen, we have the list of drivers and their cars associated
yeah.
with them, as we'll be riding along board with them. But as you can see now, for the GT3 class, we have Ramiro Dominguez, Rafael Rivas, Andres Lopez, Javier Brando, Vincent da Silva. We have Ahmed Mido, and you will have their respective cars riding along right on board, right beside them, and we'll go over soon the LMH cars as well. I am noticing in the audience, in the what do you call this again, the chat, that Mr. Kurt Moss said he forgot to reload his setup when he went back on the server.
Oh, no.
So that might be why his pits, or why his qualifying session was undone. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 hours of fighting to come. What are your thoughts so far? I, per se, am very much so excited with the grid to come. I'm a little bit disappointed that we don't have the drivers getting their full qualifying session on the way, but nonetheless, it's not a sprint, it's an endurance, so we have a lot of fighting to come.
Absolutely, Stephen. And I noticed someone in the GT3 list, well, Nicholas Donald has a Ruxty car there, number 80. An AO racing car. That's fantastic. I'm sure he enjoys it just as much as I do. Looks like Armando Hanley has one as well. We have 2 of them. Well, that's not going to be confusing at all. We're going to have to sort our way through that. But yeah, well done to all the folks in the Rexy cars, or really any other IMSA livery. Fantastic. But yeah, I looked at that list of drivers that you sent me, and you showed there on the screen to the viewers, and that's incredibly exciting. Such a big field. It's going to be a lot to work through, and I don't know if you showed the drivers for the LMH yet, but yeah, we have a couple of Ferraris there. John Singleton, Jimmy Pelez. Hopefully I'm saying their names right. I do apologize if I don't. Feel free to correct me. I'm more than okay with corrections at any point from any of you. And Christian Gomez also. So watch out for the Ferraris. Remember they won back to back, was it right? Stephen, back to back this year in real life at Le Mans. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're also quick here in the simulator,
Well,
not just real life.
so far, especially for this week, the Porsche has been the quickest. The BMW has been the most consistent. However, the BMW is not on track this evening, and the two Ferraris, I believe, will not be making it out either. So the car to watch this evening is actually the Alpine, driven by Mr.
Oh.
Charles himself. As well as, am I seeing Streamlabs looking a little bit
And now,
unorthodox
why
there?
did he choose the Alpine then? Does he have some sort of intention behind that? Considering their WEC record, maybe he's trying to avenge them. I don't know, but Alpine of all choices, I see you there.
Well, not sure why. Maybe just wanted to be different at this point. The cars are, uh, sorry, let me just try and figure out what's going on with the server
I
quickly.
think he's lost. I can see what's going on, and you folks on the show, I don't believe can, but he's lost his feed over here, and I've lost it on the Discord as well because I'm following along with his screen. So that's what we're trying to figure out. But I think you folks on the stream there. Oh, I think maybe you folks actually have the same thing, but you also have the driver lineup to be focused on. So yeah, we're just trying to get that back. That's all it is. Hello?
You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. you've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order. You've seen almost exponentially more contact between these rivals than in the first race. Had or brand new sponsor Ceramic Hair been a part of this competition, they'd have been getting quite the work order.
Okay, count me in. Welcome back, everyone, to the 3 hours of Le Mans JSRA special here. Hopefully you can still hear me. It's Merc Rio here in the commentary booth here with Stephen Stewart. And the safety car should be rolling out shortly onto the track to start the formation lap here for this race. Qualifying having just ended, we thankfully were able to fix the black screen issue there. So everything hopefully is smooth sailing here on out. But away goes Dominic Charles there and Jaden Harrison. They don't need to pack up quite yet. They actually have quite a lot of room to go around and warm up their tyres. But we'll have two safety cars out here on track. We have one for the LMH and one for the GT3. Oh, just one. Excuse me, we have just one. I thought we had two. No, excuse me. But it is separated by class. And I think Tim Stoll does show now up there with the rest of the LMHs. So he is finished. Well, he is starting at the back of the grid of the LMHs. Someone is out on the sand. I don't know what's going on there. They all just packed up and stopped. And now they're going again. Well, I'll leave it over to you, Stephen. You know what's going on.
I am actually trying to figure it out myself as we just noticed Dominic Charles coming out. I'm not sure if it's a frame issue, but he literally just pulled off and disconnected. So I am actually trying to figure it out myself. But what I must...
I imagine something either to do with internet or like you might have suggested with the frame rates. Everything looks smooth on my end here, thankfully, but I could only imagine to those drivers, especially those who probably didn't turn all their settings down, just how bad those frame rates might be. If you don't have a beefy computer for this, you might struggle at points.
Right, and even we were having a few issues ourselves there at the end of qualifying, once everybody kind of bunched back up in the in the pits. So not sure if that's what's happening there, but nonetheless, Dominic Charles, the fastest driver on track during qualifying, has exited the servo.
Oh my, we'll have to find out what happened, but that is terrible, terrible news. That must mean that Jaden Harrison now is going to take over there, taking pole position, and, well, he'll have full, well, I was going to say full domination over the track, but who knows, there is quicker drivers behind, but he's going to have a lot of free air ahead of him to try and get a good start here, it seems. Yeah, well, now Dominic Charles shows us back in, so you know what? It is possible that he is... Okay. So I'm being told in my ear that we might have a another safety car lap, but he's back in the server. He is coming out, actually. I don't know if it's showing 28th overall. I have the track map on the right-hand side of my screen, and so I think he is trying to catch back up to the field. So they might allow him to retake his position here at the front of the field. That's very nice. Very, very nice of race control to do that. And so they're going around just the Mulsanne corner now. They're all packed up together, actually. They're not really split in such that, you know, there's a big gap between the classes here. So I really do wonder what this start is going to be like if they don't give a gap. But yeah, they're still going round. I don't really see any weaving going on. No weaving allowed. Okay, no weaving allowed, I've been told. So that's why. And well, it is a little safer because you never know when someone might overdo it, and then they go crashing into the barrier, and then it all messes up the formation lap. So you never know. You can't trust all these sim racers. as many of you might be first, you might not always be the safest of drivers. Not calling out anyone in particular there, obviously. I'm sure someone is going to take that comment and come after me afterwards. But yeah, I think there's Dominic Charles there, I can see. So he is catching up to the field now. He's approaching the Mulsanne corner. So this does look like he's going to have to race back into his position, and then they'll probably do another formation lap, unless they think it's close enough now that they can just go. But that's up to race control to make that decision. And who is that over there at the Mulsanne straight? I see, well, it shows on my screen Reen Gonzalez there, so don't know why they're all the way over there, to be honest, but maybe something happened to there as well. Server says safety car stay out, so we do have a race control message at the top, and I just saw it there flash up on my screen. It said the safety car please stay out. So we're going around at least one other lap here, one more lap. So don't be confused by possibly the real penalty, doing a start sequence or whatever. Actually, I think they can just simply delay it, so it shouldn't come up. But you know, you folks know how the rolling start sequences work. You know, where it kind of goes yellow, and then when it's green, everyone can go at the same time. But yeah, so they're staying out. And by the way, look at the Noba Racing Store cars there. Wow, look at that. The yellow, blue, and red. Very lovely livery. Stephen, can you hear me, or are you? You are okay. Oh, he can hear me, but he's muted on the stream still. Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if you were coming back in. he says he's trying to organize the race, and that's the sad thing about seeing it. To put that over the commentating, you know, there's priorities here. But I don't mind taking charge one bit. So yeah, there's the safety car at the front. It's a lovely Porsche, by the way. That is a very lovely safety car. Yeah, it says we have 5 cut warnings. I believe how this works with the real penalty is that you have 5 cut warnings, so any track limits violation on the track where you after 5, the next one, or I believe at 5, you get given a drive-through penalty. So you have to go all the way through the pit and then back out again, not stopping in the box. Very important information there, because some people do confuse that. And that would allow it to clear. 5 obviously on Le Mans is extremely strict, so I would not be surprised if we see multiple drive-through penalties awarded throughout this race. And so that can really shake up the field. You need to be really, really, really careful. I mean, honestly, go slower rather than get the track limits if you can help it in a corner, because it's just so incredibly punishing. So that is something you might be able to see on your screen. I think you guys can. Yes, you can. It says cut warnings there, 0/5. So keep that in mind, folks, throughout this race. So we're guessing race control messages telling cars to catch back up if they're falling behind. I'm seeing safety cars to 80. That is 80 kilometers an hour. I'm assuming there. I think it is. That's 50 miles per hour. So that's essentially the same as the speed limit in the pit. So if you have a pit limiter, that might be incredibly useful for you. Map it to your wheel or whatever you have, and you can obviously just put your throttle to the floor and be able to hold it. Oh, sorry, Stephen, were you talking to me there? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Stephen is talking to me in the background, folks. I thought I'd missed some information there. So it says that we restart after this lap in the race control and to catch the safety car now. So hopefully that is what is going on. I see, yeah, some folks are headed pretty much full throttle now to catch back up. So that's fantastic. And I'm assuming we're also going to be packing up 2x2 here pretty soon, maybe in Sector 3. And get ready to go racing here. It's the 3 hours of Le Mans, the GT Panama and JSRA special event here tonight for you live on Twitch and YouTube. It's great to see all of you. We hope you are ready for some fantastic action. Me and Stephen here as well, once he's back to commentating.
Yes, I am sorry we've had such an odd start to this race, but we should be getting going after. Well, everybody is basically bunched back up at this point, so we should be getting back racing at this point. So my dearest and sincerest apologies for whatever had happened at the start of that.
Hey, there's absolutely no troubles at all. You know, you are the reason that this can go ahead at all. So honestly, no apologies needed.
Right, so we do have Mr. Santino here leading the GT3s, as well as Dominic Charles back in front of his well, the LMHs. So we are on lap 2. We are going racing after this. So once we reach by the Porsche curves, the GT3s should drop the speed down to 50 and the safety car should be pulling away.
Yeah, they're not bunched up yet. They're still headed down to Indianapolis, but yeah, we see Santino Franco De Vico there. Lovely Ford Mustang, fantastic. He can be here for this race. A relatively new GT3 as well. It's been absolutely fantastic to hear and see. Got to see it myself in person this year, in fact, so, which was fantastic. So yeah, that's going to be leading them away. And then of course, like you mentioned, Dominic Charles managed to get back into his position. Let's hope he doesn't have any more internet issues. He is about to lead the field away here at the 3 hours of Le Mans. We're about to go racing, Stephen. Here we go.
Right, and the safety car should be heading back in, driven by Mr. Nicholas Pendley, a typical ACC driver, so somebody who is not necessarily used to the Assetto Corsa platform, but there they are. Mark, you can lead us away as they head down now into the final few corners.
Okay. Here we go then, down through the Ford chicanes. The LMH is onto the front straight away, and let's wait for it. We are away now. It's the 3 hours of Le Mans here at the Circuit De La Sarthe. We are underway with the LMHs. They'll head into turn 1, and a big jump there for Dominic Charles. He's clear of the field into turn 2, I believe that is there, right there at the Dunlop chicane. A few lockups, we couldn't see who was guessing into the corner wrong there, but Dominic Charles already 2 seconds clear of the field after the first few corners. Over Racing Store beyond that. Oh, still a couple of lockups there as they head towards Tête Rouge up here. That is wow, that is incredibly close at the mid-pack. Now the GT3's coming to the line. They go at the line, and they're underway now. The huge GT3 field. Corvette turns the inside. We have the Ford Mustang there of Franco De Vico on the outside. They head into turn 1. Rohei Robinson third. This is going to be a little tight. Oh, and almost a touch by Franco De Vico. The Corvette rounds the outside and gets a fantastic move, almost done there.
But
the 79.
That is Ramiro Dominguez, who just got a brilliant start there at the start. Sorry to cut you, but Ramiro has overtaken Rohei Robinson for that top 2 position.
Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, I was just about to mention it. Yeah, that is Ramiro Dominguez. He went into the inside, as I was calling it, and then jumped, as far as I can tell here, 3 positions in the first lap here. This is fantastic from Ramiro Dominguez, the GT Panama driver. And what a fantastic start for the GT3s. No urgy-burgy as far as I can tell. Clean starts on both ends, Stephen. And now the LMH is headed down past the Mulsanne corner to Indianapolis. What a great start.
Mark, I think in the mix of the GT3s, we haven't even noticed that Tim Stahl is now right there in P6, right there on the bumper of Mr. Santiago, my apologies, and has made up about 5 positions in the space of 1 lap.
Oh, that is incredible. We're going to see this flesh out here in the next few minutes. New lockups there in Indianapolis, I can see behind there. Wow, this is where these first racing drivers are really going to make their moves. Once the race settles in, then it's just simply about consistency. But obviously, don't do it too hard. You don't want to knock yourself out of the race early on either. So we're seeing some really good pace from all the drivers we know. And Tim Stahl off the track there right before the Porsche curves. He did keep it together, but you got to be close there, Tim Stahl. You have a lot of racing still to go. Oh,
And I'm just trying to keep up with all the action as look at the line of GT3 cars there. As Mr. Kurt Moss there making the move stick on, well, he's trying to make the move stick there on Mr. Javier Brandao of GT Panama. So the two are side by side, but I am just trying to figure out who to watch. We are very much so new to the endurance and multi-class racing, so please bear with us as we go and watch each battle as they ensue.
yeah, I mean, now I think we're showing, if I'm not mistaken, the leader plus folks here from 9th overall to 19th. So this is, I think that was more so the GT3s there that they were showing, and it looks like it's incredibly close in this field so far, not too spread out yet, and they're coming round to start another lap in a few seconds. So they're just going through the Porsche curve section right now. Tim Stahl doing fantastic. Dominic Charles as well. It was a 3:27.6 last time out, last lap. No one else has even gotten close to that yet. I know the race has just started, but that's important to note. You have to get those consistent lap times in as soon as you can. Wow, this is a fantastic start for the GT3s. And the LMHs, they're a little more spread out now along the Mulsanne straight. I think they're headed towards Mulsanne corner now, the leader, Dominic Charles. And then 9th position, just headed towards the second Mulsanne chicane now on the Mulsanne straight. So a little more spread out, and that race is going pretty smooth also.
What is funny is we have Dominic Charles in P1, Jaden Harrison in P2. Jaden is on the hunt for Dominic Charles there, but Omar, Luis Daniel Velez, Omar Escorcia, and Santiago Vanegas are the top three, or the three following, which are all of the Noba Racing store. So you literally just see that line of Colombian themed Porsches literally right behind the pack of Jaden Harrison and Dominic Charles. We are still having a little bit of a frame issue, as it is a little bit tasking on our PC, so we're hoping that as the race goes on it will smoothen out little by little. But Dominic Charles there, very demanding lead there, 2 seconds ahead. Luis Daniel Velez is being a little bit pestered, well, not pestered, let's say, but he has the likes of his teammate there, Mr. Omar Escorcia. We did unfortunately miss out on our fan favorite, one of my favorite persons, not just as a sim racer but as a person himself, Mr. Estefano Barrero. So we are wishing him a speedy recovery, but he would have just been here with the top 5, top 3, let's say. He did have the pace. So we are missing him unfortunately, but nonetheless we wish him a speedy recovery here, as we have, well, it's only been about 10 minutes in the actual race, so we have 3 hours to go, Mark.
Yes, a long way to go, long way to go. 5 laps, I believe that says in now. And fantastic weather conditions as well. I don't think we're expecting any rain. That's a pretty common thing actually at the Circuit De La Sarthe, rain during the race. I don't believe we have that here. But yeah, we were seeing a 3:33 and a 3:32.0 Eastman and Singleton there. So that's kind of your lap times you're seeing at the back right now towards, I think that's the beginning of the GT3s. That's, I think, that's the end of the LMHs, I believe. So yeah, that's what they're doing back there. Obviously very much quicker at the top. So we're seeing a separation from them already. The mid-pack though running like 3:25.26, and they're going to be battling it out. Hopefully they can manage their fuel. That's going to be really important. We don't want anyone to run out of fuel in this race. And so obviously you have to watch your fuel numbers very, very closely.